What up, meows? Welcome back to Tomcat's Cool Toy Collection, Masters of the Universe edition. Let's take a look at some more figures from where we left off last. And we get to some more villains from not Snake Mountain, but Hordak's Fright Zone. So Mantenna's one of my favorite figures that I've had since I was a kid, because I don't know if this is the one I had since I was a kid, but you know, the eyeballs. And he just looks so cool and weird and alien-like. It's got like two legs as one for each leg. That's the switch on the back. His ears kind of wiggle, but you know, I don't want to loosen them up too much. Another one of my favorites, Too Bad. He can almost punch himself out or fist bump himself. You know, cool 2-for-1 type of figure here. This is the flat back one. I think there's another one where he's not flat backed, but whatever. I'm sure that one's just as cool. This one probably just had better room in the packaging. Another favorite of mine, I don't have his arm. I never had the shell of him, but King Hiss. Just super cool, you know, he looks like a human, and then you can kind of shed his human-like form. Pretty cool. I think he looks cool in this form. Because I don't have his arm, I just kind of cover up this arm with his shield if it wants to stay on. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Alright, and then up here in Fright Zone, which is totally incomplete in many ways. Another favorite I had as a kid from a garage sale. I got all my He-Man figures from garage sales back then. But Tongue Lasher. Kind of like the later on when they did Michelangelo for the Toon Turtles. He just looks cool too. You know, purple's like my favorite color. He's got 3 fingers like a toad, stripes, and you know, that tongue. Grizzler, another favorite, just because he's, you know, all fuzzy. He's supposed to have like a crossbow, I believe. He's got his armor on there. There's a lighter and a darker version. I'm not sure if this is, I think this is the darker version, but I could be wrong. Yeah, Grizzler is definitely a favorite. Very cool. Cooler than Beastman. And another favorite, Scare Glow, because the motherfucker glows in the dark. Yeah, this isn't the original cape, unfortunately. I made this one. I know he goes for over 100 if he's complete with the original pieces. Like a lot of figures, or most of them, you know, you can do that. I'll have to show you him glowing in the dark in the end. Scare Glow. See him in the dark. See him at night. See him in the light. See him glow. Pretty cool. Hordak, gotta have him with the Fright Zone. Wish he had his red cape and his weapons, but you know, he's got probably the biggest head out of any of the figures. Nice, cool, creepy guy. Not as cool as Skeletor. So Leech is pretty cool. He's got these suction cups so he can suction onto things. And also, say Clawful smells awful, he can see if he still spits the water. Not really. So say Clawful smells awful and he won't mind the bath anyway. Oh, he doesn't really spit the water anymore. But the good news is some collectors may be cringing that I put water on his sticker there. Suction doesn't really suction much anymore, but he's an interesting figure. He looks cool from the side, more like a snake or a dragon. There's the release where he's supposed to shoot the water out. Up here on Strider, we got the Flying Fist He-Man. He just dropped his battle axe. Yeah. This is one I've had since I was a kid. He doesn't really... looks more like he's jogging when you move him. Gotta get those laps in. There you go, kind of see it that way. Stick it back on there. Strider. Thunder Punch He-Man. Had this one since I was a kid. I thought this was actually the original He-Man when I was a kid. Thought this was the main one. Bam. Used to have like this backpack thing on, this red backpack that would make a punching sound. I don't remember if it took caps or what. So these guys are really cool, dropping more weapons. The battle armor, He-Man and Skeletor. So, you know, he can take his sword if he doesn't drop it and... Come on! Oh, this one's fucked. 1 gash, 2 gash. See if it works on Skeletor. This is... I really like this Skeletor. He's really badass. The bat logo on him is really cool. Until He-Man comes and screws it all up. He's starting to stick. There we go. Pretty cool. I would say he's probably one of my favorite figures too, this Skeletor. Who do we got over here? Cyclone, missing his cool middle piece. But he's pretty cool too. Turn into a cyclone. Knock some motherfuckers out. Yeah, he's much cooler with the little radar spiral thing on there really adds to them. Fisto, if you're into that. His fist moves, so we can also do some thunder punching. Webster's Merriam Dictionary. I had a version of him as a kid too. This might have been him. I didn't have the armor. It's pretty beat up. Similar back piece as one of the other figures. This crab claw. This belonged to Spikor. I miss Spikor. I had him up until my early 20s, and then I don't know, he fell apart apparently. Bo from She-Ra, the only She-Ra figure I have. I almost bought a bunch off eBay once, but I lost the bid. But love his red cape, so Bo's cool. So here's the two figures from the New Adventures of He-Man. This is the only one I got new at the store in the package because this was more of my generation, as I was saying before. And I really love this Skeletor. I know a lot of people hated the New Adventures of He-Man, but yeah, my mom bought me this guy from Toys R Us or something back in the day, and I rebought him on eBay back in 2020. He's missing his helmet. He really, with his staff, the helmet he doesn't have, and his cape, he's kind of reminiscent of the 87 movie Skeletor. But this has, his classic light blue, and then the purple's in there. And, he does this cool fighting motion like that. His face looks pretty cool, pretty sick, pretty weird. He's got all these, like a spine is like hooked into, like he's got metal parts almost as if he were a cyborg. Yeah, 1988 on the back. Yeah, this is the Skeletor I actually grew up with. And I love that, you can bend their legs. There was a lot of cool figures from the New Adventures of He-Man, but this was the only one I had as a kid. And then this is one of the He-Man from the New Adventures of He-Man. Later on, they try to make the figures, more stout to match the original bodies, but this one's pretty cool. Knees also bend. I don't have any of his weapons or anything. He doesn't have, the 70s shag cut. It looks like he's doing something else there. Yeah, New Adventures of He-Man, cool in my book. Don't think I've ever actually watched the show yet. He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, the original run throughout the 80s was a little bit before my time. I just missed it, being born in the late 80s. So all the figures I had as a kid, I got from garage sales. I think that's it. I don't know where else I would have gotten them. But, so I grew up with the figures, which were new to me, although they were used. And my dad had a tape copy of the 87 movie. I didn't really watch the cartoon. I was more of the generation for the New Adventures of He-Man, and this Skeletor was my absolute favorite. the only figure I got from the store my mom got for me. It's this Skeletor. Yeah, figures I had as a kid. This He-Man with the gold. Battle Armor He-Man. Battle Armor Skeletor. Ram Man. Pretty sure I had a King Hiss without the armor. In his true serpent form. Mantenna I had as a kid. He was a fun, creepy, cool one. Tongue Lasher. This was always a favorite vehicle of mine. Got the little rubber seatbelt there. I think that was it. I think those are all the ones I had as a kid. Oh, and then I had Spikor. And he's broken. I don't have him anymore. And I did obtain Snake Mountain from a garage sale when I was 12. I got a whole box of, maybe like this big, a box of He-Man figures when I was 12 for like $5. It was like a garage sale by my great-grandma's house. I was with my grandparents. And yeah, they're just trying to get rid of stuff. And He-Man wasn't in hot demand in 2001. So I got the whole box for $5. And yeah, I had the 2002 He-Man stuff. I had still got the box, but I had Castle Grayskull, which was really cool. Had sound effects and stuff like that. I had a lot of the figures. You know, I had He-Man, Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, Stratos, Battle Cat, Beastman, a lot of them. A lot of them were really cool, but I sold them. I didn't sell this castle because I think my uncle still has it buried at my grandmother's old house, so maybe I'll get it eventually. I didn't want to sell these, but I needed room in the money, so if I was going to stick with one, I was like, I'm going to stick with the originals.